My question is to the Prime Minister. Prime Minister, since the election, a typical family's mortgage repayment has increased by $1,400 a month. Energy bills have soared, rents have increased, grocery costs are rising, real wages have not risen as promised, and in the last 2 months, over 30,000 jobs have been lost. The Prime Minister promised families will be better off under Labor, his words, but they're worse off. Why do Australian families always pay more under Labor?
I give a call to the Prime Minister.
Thanks, Mr. Speaker. Well, Australians are paying the price for a decade of Liberal and National governments.
The Leader of the Opposition has asked his question.
Of a decade
Order.
of denial.
The Prime Minister will pause.
A decade.
The Prime Minister has the call.
Had no economic plan. They had 22 energy policies and didn't land one. The Leader of the Opposition raises a number of issues. On wages, he says they're not rising fast enough. But he was a part of a government that saw low wages as part of their economic architecture. It wasn't bad luck, it was bad policy. Bad policy. And then he had to hide just after, on the day that they voted against the Housing Australia Future Fund, of speaking about housing. Well, we have a plan to deal with housing. We had legislation which includes the $10 billion Housing Australia Future Fund, that includes specific programs for veterans, specific programs for women and children escaping domestic violence, and they voted against it. And if you look at the comments of the Reserve Bank Governor, he has spoken very clearly about supply chain issues and pressures as being a major cause of inflation in this country, and yet they've indicated they're going to vote against the National Reconstruction Fund.
Order.
A program that will assist business going forward. Now, we on this side will stand up for Australian jobs and we'll stand up for Australian families, which is why we have a plan that came in on January 1 that's already making a difference for cheaper medicines. The first decrease in the price of medicines in 75 years since, once again, a former Labor government, it's only Labor governments that do the big reforms, introduced the PBS. And then we have cheaper childcare comes in on July 1. We've got fee-free TAFE, 180,000 places in areas of skills shortage, taking pressure off the cost, but also at the same time helping to fill those skills shortages and those supply chain issues. We have our energy price relief plan, where they came in here and they voted against $1.5 billion of support. $1.5 billion. The truth is that those opposite just say no to everything. They used to be the coalition, now they're just a no-alition. They just say no to absolutely everything.